Welcome all. We will be starting with section 3, which is titled Test Script Creation. To summarize, in the last two sections, we had covered topics like Introduction to Performance Testing, jMeter Introduction and Architecture, jMeter Installation, Configuration, its Overview, Test Plan Creation, and Sample Application Overview. In section 3, we will be covering three topics, and those are Topic 1, recording the application under test with jMeter. Topic 2, record and playback jMeter scripts. Topic 3, parameterization and correlation. Let us start with topic 1, recording the application under test with jMeter. We had seen the navigational steps of our sample application in the last video, and I will summarize them once again now. The steps to be recorded are: Step 1, visit google.co.in. Step 2, search performance testing keyword in the search box. Step 3, click on tutorialspoint.com link. Step 4, click on acceptance testing link. Step 5, click on home link. And step 6, click on tools link. I will now open the test plan which we had created in the last section. As we can see, there is already a thread group and workbench elements in it. Before starting a recording activity, we will have to add the recorder element in the workbench. So, I will right click on the workbench element. I will go to the add menu. I will go to the non-test elements menu, and I will click on the option called HTTPS test script recorder. Now we can see the test script recorder tab has opened. This is the tool used by jMeter to record all the web traffic. The first thing to do is configure the port number in the respective field under global settings. I will set it to 8282. This port number can be set to any 4-digit number unless it is being used by some other application on your computer. jMeter starts a proxy server on this port to record all the web traffic sent and received at this port. This port will have to be configured in the browser proxy settings as well, so that jMeter can record the activities performed on your browser, which we will be doing in some time. The next step here is to set the target controller. By default, the option Use Recording Controller is set, and we will be using this option itself. So I will now add this controller in the thread group so that this option can be used. I will right click on thread group. I will go to the add menu. I will go to the logic controller menu, and I will click on recording controller. As you can see, the recording controller element has opened, and there is a button called Clear All the Recorded Samples, which is helpful in creating and clearing all the recorded samples recorded earlier. The next step is to set the URL patterns to exclude option, which is here in the test script recorder. This option is used to exclude any specific requests from being recorded in our script. We will exclude all static requests like .png, .jpg, .css, etc. from our recording so that our test script will be a simple one. For beginners, a complex script would be difficult to understand, hence we will try to keep things as simple as possible. The most important thing here is, while you record a web application for your projects, enabling or disabling this option should be as per your requirement. Practically speaking, while checking the performance of any web application, the static elements should also be considered, since these would also be added to the end user response times. Now, the format to enter a pattern here is to use regular expressions which are frequently used in jMeter. We will discuss regular expressions in detail later. For the time being, we will use this exclude pattern by adding a string which is present in my notepad. This is the regular expression for excluding static elements of the format BMP, CSS, JS, GIF, etc. All these static elements would be excluded from the recording. This regular expression will be copied and pasted in the URL patterns to exclude option. I have pasted this successfully. The next step is to change the browser proxy settings. The port number 8282, which is configured here in jMeter, will have to be set in the browser proxy as well, so that jMeter can record all the traffic sent or received on the port using the browser. I will now go to the browser, which is Firefox, and I will go to the options. I will go to the proxy settings, which is in the advanced tab. I will click on network tab. I will click on settings. Here you can see the proxy has to be selected for manual proxy configuration. The HTTP proxy would be localhost as it is, and the port number should be 8282, which is defined in the jMeter console as well. The checkbox called use this proxy for all protocols should be checked by default. And I will click on OK now. That's it. My browser proxy has been set as per our requirement. I will confirm it once again by going into the proxy settings. I click on OK. Now the next step is to clear the entire browser cache so that while recording, all resources are fetched from the server by the application. This is an important step to be noted down, since without clearing the cache, the script recorded will not be completely recorded. I will click on options of the browser settings and I will click on clear now, which is here. This will clear my web cache content, and you can see there are only 0 bytes left in the web cache. To make sure my cache is completely deleted, I will go to the history settings and I will click on clear recent history. And the time range would be everything so that all the data in my web cache is deleted. Now, to make sure that the cache is completely deleted, I will check it once again here and verify it. Now I will open a new tab which will be used for my recording purpose. Now I will go to the jMeter console once again. Here I will be now adding a listener called view results tree under the HTTP test script recorder element. This listener will log all the samples recorded by the tool, including the response data of all requests that can be used for scripting activity later. I will right click on add, I will go to listener option and I will click on view results tree. So the listener has been successfully added in the test script recorder. Now let us start the recording process by clicking on the start button in the test script recorder, which is here in the bottom. As soon as I click on the start button, the recording should be starting. Here you can see a root CA certificate pop-up message, which is a digital certificate created by jMeter in the bin directory as mentioned here. jMeter creates a digital certificate during recording so that it can intercept the HTTPS connection from the browser. This certificate is generated with a validity period defined by the property proxy.cert.validity. This certificate has to be imported in the browser before starting the recording, else the recording will not be successful. So it is recommended to import this certificate every time you record an application to avoid recording issues. As seen here, this file is generated in the bin directory of jMeter, which is also called as the installation directory. Let us first check if the file is present in the bin directory. So I will go to the bin directory now. Here I do a refresh and I will try to locate the certificate file which is here. This is the jMeter certificate file created by the tool. Now I will be importing this file into the browser. I will go to Options. I will click on the Advanced tab. I will click on Certificates. I will click on View Certificates. Here I will be importing the file. So this is the file as seen earlier. I will click on it. I will check this checkbox which says trust this CA to identify the websites. I will click on OK. You can see the certificate is successfully imported into the browser. I will again click on OK. That's it. We are ready to start the recording process. I will again go to the jMeter console. I will click on the OK message and you can see the start button is disabled here and the stop button is enabled, which means the recorder has already started and all the samples would be recorded in the recording controller. You can see an element has already been recorded in the recording controller, which is the call made by the browser Firefox. So I will go to the browser now. Our step 1 was to visit the google.co.in page. So I enter google.co.in in the address bar of the browser and I press enter. The Google homepage has successfully been fetched in the browser, and when I go back to the tool, I can see lots of new samples being recorded, and here the URL is google.co.in, which means the recorder is successfully recording all the samples and all the requests made by my browser. I will again go to the browser and my next step is to search the keyword performance testing in the search box. I enter the string performance testing and I press enter. This is the search box and this is the searches being fetched by Google. Our next step is to click on the tutorialspoint.com link of performance testing website. So I click on this link. Make sure during recording you wait for the page to completely load by looking at the icon here, and after that you do the next click on the web page so that the recording activity is successful. Now as you can see, the page is not completely loaded. Requests are still getting recorded in the tool. I will just scroll down to check if all the pages being downloaded properly, and I will wait for this loading icon to disappear so that I can go to the next link. So some elements in the page is still getting downloaded. Those can be some static elements or any kind of resources. Okay, it seems the page has been downloaded properly. Yeah. Now I will go to the next link, which was clicking on acceptance testing. You can see the loading icon has also been disappeared. Now I will click on acceptance testing hyperlink. The acceptance testing page is getting downloaded and some elements are still getting downloaded, because of which the loading icon can be seen now. When I scroll down, I can see some elements are still not available on the page. Okay, now the page has been downloaded completely. Now I will go to the next link, which is clicking on home link. I have clicked on the home button and the home page has arrived. You can see different elements in the home page by scrolling down the web page. Now the page has successfully downloaded and the next link is to click on the tools link. Now the development tools web page has successfully been fetched by the browser and the page has been completely loaded. I will just scroll down and check whether the page has been loaded. So we have completed all the 5 steps in our recording activity. Now I go back to the jMeter test plan to look at the samples or requests which are being recorded. Now I scroll down, you can see there are many requests. Basically these are HTTP samplers which has been recorded by the tool. So I scroll down to the bottom and you can see this is the tools hyperlink which we had clicked as part of our last step. So I go to the recorder page and I again go to the listener view results tree which we had created. you can see all the requests have been successfully logged by the view results tree. Now I again go to the recorder page and I click on stop button to stop the recording. So we have successfully recorded a web application using jMeter and the HTTP test script recorder tool.